It was 1971. Trudeau mania had swept Canada while Richard Nixon had pledged to end the United States' involvement in Vietnam. On the moon, astronauts were driving a moon buggy, while at the University of Western Ontario, 102 hopefuls were vying for 34 dress roster spots on the Mustang football team. Former Mustang great Frank Cosentino was in his second year as head coach, and the old Ontario-Quebec Athletic Association had become the all-new OUAA, comprising 12 universities, with the province split into 4 three-team divisions, Western in the Western Division with Waterloo and Windsor. The opening game of the 71 campaign pitted the Mustangs against the Guelph Griffins. A stellar defensive performance ensured a 15-0 win. Stangs quarterback Joe Fabiani scored the lone touchdown. Kicker Paul Nill accounted for the rest of the points. At Waterloo, Steve Stefanko called the signals in place of the injured Fabiani, and Western won 23-7, helped by 6 turnovers caused by the defense, which was led by halfback Dave Clark's 2 interceptions and 64-yard punt return for a touchdown. The following week, untimely Western fumbles and numerous penalties, and the Toronto Varsity Blues defeated the Mustangs, the lone Western score coming from receiver Terry Harvey. A Wednesday night game against the Waterloo Lutheran Golden Bears and the Bears' vaunted wishbone attack forced the Mustangs to once again rely on their defense for a 13-3 victory. Defenders Steve Derbyshire, Reg Richter, and All-Canadians Dan Dulmage and George Hill shut down the Lutheran offense. Linebacker Dave Doherty secured the win on an interception return. The Mustang offense began to show signs of life with the run game racking up 209 yards. Unfortunately, the following week in 85-degree heat, the Mustangs wilted against the McMaster Marauders, going offside on a last-second Marauder field goal attempt, allowing them a second try, which resulted in an 18-17 loss for the Stangs. The outcome prompted a private team meeting among the players, which led to Captain George Hill approaching Coach Cosentino about changes in the practice structure. Cosentino would later observe, "From this point, we never look back." A bruising defense and ball control offense led to an overwhelming defeat of division co-leader Windsor Lancers, with the combination of Dave Kerr, Bruce McRae, Bud Wilson, and Peter Quigley. Those 4 became known as the Canadian version of Notre Dame's 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, racking up over 350 rushing yards in a 50-7 win. At the Western homecoming game in front of 10,000 fans and the 1931 Mustangs Yates Cup Championship team, the Mustangs of this circa exploded for 3 touchdowns in a 9-minute span, led by receiver Terry Harvey's 2 TDs and a Jim Budge punt return. They defeated Waterloo 37-1. A rematch with Windsor put the Lancers in the unfavorable position of having to defeat the Mustangs by 43 points to advance from the Western Division. A lackluster performance by the overconfident Stangs resulted in an 18-6 defeat, resulting in a 5-3 regular season record. The OUA semifinal game matched the Stangs against the Capital Division champs, the Queen's Golden Gales, a team that was averaging 38 points a game. The Mustangs, in a stunning upset, crushed the Gales 42-3. Thanks to 250 yards rushing and Terry Harvey's 2 touchdowns, along with timely interceptions by Dave Clark and Chris Scopolianos. The Yates Cup Final witnessed wet snow and blizzard rain conditions, nullifying the University of Ottawa's vaunted passing attack. The Mustangs, competing in its first Yates Cup since 1959, when Cosentino led the Stangs to the championship as a player, used its running game behind its powerful O-line, passing only 6 times all game. All-Canadian Bruce McRae racked up 163 yards on the ground, and league-leading scorer Paul Nill accounted for 2 field goals, and a Jim Carn interception return led to a 13-0 Yates Cup victory. After the game, Ottawa coach Don Gilbert proclaimed, "They just beat the hell out of us." As the Mustangs prepared for the St. Mary's Huskies in the Atlantic Bowl, The western campus was gripped with a football madness that had been dormant for years. Greeted by hostile fans and an ungracious host, the Mustangs dominated the Huskies, relying once again on their power running game and two 50-yard-plus returns by Jim Budge, who was honored as game MVP. Slowly moving up the university rankings all year, the Mustangs were now prepared to take on the number one ranked University of Alberta. The coaching staff of Cosentino, Doug Hayes, Darwin Simodiuk, and Ron Potter had posted a telegraph sent from Gino Freitas that stated, "Determination, desire, aggression, pride, and hustle are all essential for team success in football." The Windsor Lancers say the Mustangs have all these qualities. In the first half, the Stangs' run game stalled. A record-breaking pass and run of 97 yards between Fabiani and Harvey resulted in only 3 points. In the third quarter, down 14-5, Fabiani and Harvey connected again, this time getting the touchdown. Late in the fourth quarter, the Mustang defense forced Alberta to punt from their own end zone, giving the Stangs great field position. And with just over 4 minutes remaining, Nil lined up for a 17-yard field goal and put it through the uprights for a 15-14 lead. Hanging onto that lead, the Mustangs converted a 3rd and 1 on their own 40 to secure the victory and the College Bowl championship. All-Canadian and team MVP George Hill accepted the Vanier Cup on behalf of the team, as the Mustangs, who'd overcome injuries and adversity all year, had truly become number one in 71. The 1971 team, Mustang legends.